My beloved child, stop right where you are. Not because something is wrong, not because you are in trouble, but because I have been waiting for this exact moment, this breath, this heartbeat, this quiet pause in your day to speak directly to your heart. I did not bring you here by accident. There is no such thing as coincidence when it comes to you. Every step that led you to this moment was guided by my hand. I arranged this. I chose this. I have been waiting for you. So before you scroll past, before the noise of the world pulls your attention somewhere else, I am asking you, stay. Just for a little while. Let me speak to the part of you that has been longing to hear a voice like mine. I see you. Not the version of you that smiles for others. Not the face you put on when you walk into a room full of people. Not the strong, steady, I'm fine version you've been presenting to the world. I see you, the real you. The one who lies awake at night with thoughts too heavy to name. The one who has cried tears no one else has seen. The one who carries a weight so familiar by now that you've almost forgotten what it feels like to be free of it. I see the battles you have been fighting in silence. I see the weariness that has settled into your bones. I see the version of you that smiles through the breaking, that keeps moving even when every part of you wants to stop. And I want you to know, I have never looked away. Not once. Not for a single moment. You thought you were invisible. You thought your pain went unnoticed. You thought the quiet corners of your heart where you hid your deepest hurts were too dark, too messy, too complicated for anyone to enter. But I have always been there, in every corner, in every shadow, in every silent room where you sat with your grief and thought no one cared. I cared. I was there. I am here now. There are parts of your story you have never told anyone. Wounds you buried because the pain of speaking them out loud felt like too much to bear. Memories you tried to leave behind, only to find them following you like shadows. You have wondered, maybe more times than you can count, whether those broken places disqualify you, whether the things you have done or the things that were done to you put you beyond the reach of love. My child, hear me clearly. Nothing disqualifies you from my love. Nothing. Not your worst moment, not your deepest failure, not the shame you have carried so long it feels like it belongs to you, not the secrets you are certain would make anyone walk away if they ever found out. I already know every single one of them. I have always known, and I have never walked away. The lie you have believed, that if I truly saw you, all of you, I would leave, that lie ends today. Because I am telling you the truth right now. I have seen every part of you, every scar, every stumble, every hidden fear, and I am still here. I am still leaning in. I am still speaking your name. That is not because you earned it. It is because love like mine does not require earning. It simply is. It has always been, and it always will be. I know how tired you are. Not just physically tired, though I see that too. I mean the kind of tired that settles into your soul. The kind that comes from fighting too long, hoping too many times, and wondering if things will ever truly change. You have been strong for so many people. You have held things together when everything in you wanted to fall apart. You have shown up when it cost you more than anyone realized. You have kept going on days when simply getting out of bed felt like a victory. And through all of it, you have asked yourself the question that lives just beneath the surface of everything. Does any of this matter? Does anyone see how hard this is? Is there any end to this road? I answer you now, yes, it matters. I see it. And yes, there is an end to this season. You are not walking in circles. You are not forgotten in the middle of a story that has no resolution. I am the God who finishes what He starts, and I am not finished with you. Let me tell you what I see when I look at you, because I think you have been listening to the wrong voice for far too long. The voice that calls you not enough, that is not mine. The voice that says you are too broken to be used, too far gone to be healed, too damaged to be loved, that is not mine. The voice that replays your failures on a loop and tells you they define you, that is not mine. My voice sounds different. My voice says, you are chosen, you are redeemed, you are seen, you are loved, you are mine. And when I give someone a name, no force in heaven or earth can take it away. I do not define you by your worst moments. I define you by my cross. And at the cross, I looked at everything you would ever do, everything you would ever fail at, every way you would ever fall short, and I said yes to you anyway. I said you were worth it. I said you were mine. That declaration has never changed. It never will. You have spent so much time wondering why. Why the pain? Why the waiting? Why the silence that stretches so long it begins to feel like absence? I want to answer you honestly, with love. The silence was never abandonment. The waiting was never punishment. The difficulty was never evidence that I had forgotten you or stopped caring. In the silence, I was working in ways you could not yet see. In the waiting, I was preparing you, not making you wait needlessly, but building something in you that could only be formed through time, through patience, through the quiet stretching of your faith. You saw delay. I saw preparation. You saw darkness. I saw the deep work of transformation happening beneath the surface, like roots pushing down through hard ground, so that one day, when the winds come, you will not fall. The trials that felt like they would break you were actually building you. The tears you thought were wasted were watering the soil of something greater than you could see from where you stood. The nights that seemed endless were preparing you to truly appreciate, to truly receive the dawn that is coming. And it is coming, my child. I promise you, it is coming. Do you remember the moments when you should not have made it through, and yet you did? Do you remember the times when the provision came at the very last second, when the door opened that had no reason to open, when peace flooded your heart in the middle of a storm that had no natural calm? That was me. Do you remember the night you sat alone and thought you could not take another step, and something inside you, quiet and steady, whispered, "Hold on." That whisper was me. I have been woven into every part of your story, even the chapters that felt most silent, even the seasons that felt most empty. I was there in the wilderness. I was there in the valley. I was there in the waiting room of unanswered prayers. I have never once let go of you, not for a breath, not for a heartbeat, not for a single moment when the darkness felt thickest. You were never alone. You only felt alone. And even in that feeling, I was there, holding you, carrying you, guarding you in ways you will only fully understand one day when you see everything clearly. My child, I need you to hear what I am about to say, and I need you to let it land somewhere deep. Your story is not over. The pain that tried to write the final chapter of your life, it does not have that authority. The loss that felt like an ending, it was not the ending. The silence that made you wonder if I was still writing, I was. I am. I will be. I am the author of your life, and I have pages yet to write that will take your breath away. I have chapters ahead of you filled with things you have prayed for, things you stopped believing could still happen, things you quietly tucked away because hoping for them hurt too much. I have not forgotten a single one of those prayers. They are held in my hands like treasure, and the appointed time for their answer is not as far away as it feels. Do not put a period where I have placed a comma. Do not close the book when I am only beginning to unfold the most beautiful part of your story. Now, I want to ask you something. I want to ask you to make a choice. Not a complicated one, not one that requires you to have everything figured out or cleaned up or put together. A simple one. Let me in. Let me into the places you have kept locked. Let me see the wounds you have hidden. Let me touch the places you were certain were beyond healing. Let me breathe life into the parts of you that have grown cold from years of carrying things alone. You do not need to fix yourself before you come to me. You never did. You only need to come as you are, broken or whole, doubting or full of faith, weary or somehow still standing. All of you is welcome here. All of you has always been welcome. When you let me truly see you, not the version you perform, but the real you, that is when everything begins to change. That is when healing starts. That is when the weight begins to lift. That is when the lies lose their grip and the truth begins to take root in places that have been barren for far too long. You were never created to carry all of this alone. You were never meant to white-knuckle your way through life, holding everything together through sheer willpower, collapsing in private, and rebuilding yourself just enough to keep going. I created you for intimacy with me, not religion, not performance, not the exhausting cycle of trying harder and falling short and trying again. Intimacy. The kind where you do not have to pretend. The kind where you can bring me every broken piece and trust that I will not flinch. The kind where my love becomes so real to you that the lies you once believed simply cannot survive in its presence. That is what I am inviting you into right now. Not a program, not a formula. Me. Just me and you in this moment and in every moment that follows. My beloved, let me leave you with this. You are not forgotten. You never were. You are not abandoned, not by me, not ever. You are not defined by your past, your failures, your wounds, or the words others have spoken over you. You are mine. I called you by name before you were born. I formed you with intention and breathed destiny into you before the world knew you existed. I chose you, not because of what you can do, not because of who you are on your best day, but because of who I am. And I am love. I am love that does not waver when you stumble. I am love that does not grow cold when you fail. I am love that does not walk away when the truth of who you are is fully seen. I am love that looks at you, all of you, and says, still, I choose you. Still, I want you. Still, you are mine. So come, child, drop the walls. Lay down the weight. Stop hiding what I already see. Stop running from the arms that have been open and waiting for you all along. You don't need to fight alone anymore. You don't need to prove yourself anymore. You don't need to be anyone other than who you are. You only need to come. And let me see you. And let me love you the way you were always meant to be loved. Because you were never too broken. You were never too far. You were never beyond my reach. You have always, always been mine. And I will never let you go. Thanks for staying. Now go and carry this with you.